everybody? Welcome back here to Camaro's Not Coffee. There's the Camaro right here. We're real close, actually, because we're in the garage. It's kind of cold outside, so I'm trying to keep the wind out a bit. But today we're going to be installing this brake light flasher. So what this does is it will flash my third brake light 4 times when I depress the brakes, and then it'll stay solid. So it's really for safety, and it looks kind of cool, so that's why I'm installing it. So I want to tell you guys, this is actually not the first one I got. I got a previous one, which I still have. I have to ship it back. And the issue with it was that it only flashed once, and then it went off. It didn't stay on, it didn't flash anymore. So the product itself was defective. And there's a way to test it before you actually go ahead and start cutting the wires and try to install it, because I had most of this done before I found out it was an issue. So I will show you how to troubleshoot it, or test it real quick, more so. And so check out how to test it, and then we'll jump into the install. To test the flasher, you want to take a 9-volt battery and then connect the red wire to the positive terminal and the black wire to the negative terminal. And when you do this, you'll see it flash the 4 times like this one is. This is the good one, so it flashes 4 times when you touch it and then it stays on. And then this is what the faulty one did, so it flashes once and then goes off. So that is why I have to send that one back. Okay, so as usual, here will be a list of the items that you'll need for this installation. For the hammer, that's a replacement for a plastic clip remover tool. I don't have one of those, but the hammer actually worked just fine as long as you have the claw end. So you'll see that in the video. The only ones I'll explain, again, this brake light flasher, it's a very small little module unit here, and I bought this on Amazon. I will post the link below. Comes with no instructions. The instructions are actually online, so you have to just go on their link and you'll find them. Very useful, so I'll pull those up in a second. And the other one I'll explain are these butt connectors. So they're weatherproof because this is actually a heat shrink tube, so I have the heat gun, and 16 to 22 gauge. So pretty much you'll put one end of the wire in here, the other end in here, you'll crimp it down, and then put the heat gun on it, and it will create a pretty much watertight seal. I didn't necessarily need that because it'll be up in the trunk here, but I figured it was a good option to just add a little extra protection there. So last thing I'll mention before we jump in, some of these clips are from the initial trial run where I thought I was putting in the final one and it ended up not working. So some of these clips are from before, and then the rest of the new installation will be from right now. So after I got under the carpeting, you'll see there are 2 bolts here and here. They're the Torx 30 size bit, and I tried to remove them, but they were very, very tight. So instead of going up in there and getting actually to where the light is, I decided to come over here where the light wires split off from the wires heading to the trunk release, and I cut the cloth off and then went through this plastic coating, this plastic shell, and access the wires right over here, which I should be able to stuff back up inside the trunk after I'm done. Okay, so this is the manual you get on the website for the flasher. So if you go to the web page, you can find this manual. So that's the front page. Here's the installation page. So this is what the main thing you're going to be looking at here. This is the positive from the battery, and that you connect to the red wire on the module. And then the yellow wire on the module goes to that same positive wire, but that runs to the light, to the part of the wire that goes to the light. The ground connects into your ground that is present with the light, the black wire. And then here are the configuration wires. So connecting these, if we come down here, you will see connecting none of them gives you the slow rate. That's what I'm going to use, but you could also connect the white and the green for the medium rate, or the green and the blue for the fast rate. So this is the PDF you get, and then at the last page, it gives you, here's again the website, or this is the manual, and then this is a YouTube video that you can watch that kind of goes over some of the connections and shows you a bit of what you'll be doing. So the next important thing you have to do is find which of these wires from the battery is the positive. So you'll need a second person to do this. I don't have a second person right now, so I will just explain the process. You'll take your positive side. First, you actually turn this to DC volts. So if we turn it there, you see the screen will come on. I'm going to turn it off since we're not actually doing anything right now. You'll take the positive side, and you will connect that to one of the wires. And then you'll take your black one, and you'll ground it somewhere in the car. So I'm just going to actually go to this bolt up here. And when the brake pedal is pressed, you should see 12 volts pop up on the screen. If it's not right around 12 volts, then what you do is then you'd switch to the other one. So now I'll switch to the black wire. Okay, put that on the red, and take this black terminal. We'll stick it to the ground. And when the brake is pressed, if that one shows about 12 volts, then that is your ground. The other one will show 12, the other will show just about 0. So in this case, I know it's the white wire. So this is going to be our positive from the battery. This is our positive to the light, and then the black ones are our ground. The next thing you're going to want to do is strip the wires on the car and then on the module. That's going to be the red, yellow, and black wires on the module if you're doing the default flash rate. Trim the solder off of the black wire on the module also, and then expose a little extra wire on that black wire and then on one of the black wires in the car, the negative wires on the car. That will give us extra space to connect 2 of the negative wires on one side of those butt connectors. Alright, before you do anything else, definitely a good idea to check it, test it to make sure that it's working before you put everything up. I didn't heat shrink those yet because if it's not working, it's more of a pain to take them out if they're heat shrunk already. So let's test it out. Alright, you guys see it's working. That's so awesome. So I'm very excited because, like I was saying at the start of this video, the first time didn't work. Just unfortunately, the one I got was defective. I had a lot of good reviews online. That's why I picked it. And it was just a fluke that I happened to get a defective one. So I'm very, very happy about this. Now I'm going to button everything back up. A good point here, I cut this really kind of too close to here. I didn't have a lot of space to work with. So next time I would come in this loop that came off of the main part, I would come more so in... Oh, no. Highly unfortunate. Well, okay. Well, see, this just happened. So, this connector just came loose. So, I'm going to see if I can recrimp it, but I may have to go get another connector. But that's part of the heat shrink, too, is it would help keep it together. So, make sure you crimp them pretty tight. Don't over-crimp them, but I was trying to crimp them pretty tight for that reason right there. So, I'm going to try to tighten that up a little bit, see if it'll work. I'll have to get another connector. But definitely give yourself space to work with here. And yeah, I just connected these 2 ground wires here and it worked pretty good. So that's that. What I'll try to do is tuck this unit up into the hole here after I get this reconnected. And then I'll test it again. You want to keep testing it as you're moving it around now that it's all put together. So I'll push it up in there, see if it'll fit. And then we'll test it again. And then just to make sure if something goes wrong, we want to know right when it goes wrong. And then just put the whole thing, the cover piece back on the carpet, and everything will be done. Alright, and just like that, we're all wrapped up. Everything's put back together. So let's see it now. For real. Dang, look at that. Holy cow. Oh, that's so awesome. I love how this looks. Okay, everybody, so even with that little bit of a hiccup with the first one not working, I'm very, very pleased with this product. You know, things happen. There's going to be one in every so many that's just not going to work. So it went in super easy. Everything's back together. We're all set. So I highly recommend doing this. Without the issue, it really only took me probably about an hour because I have no electrical car experience at all. None. So I watched some videos, figured out what I was supposed to do. There is a video for this exactly. They show you on YouTube. So it's part of that link that they send. So just check it out, and really it's not too difficult. You just got to make sure you get the connectors and you crimp everything together so it's all connected. Otherwise, you should be all set. So if you have any questions about this install, any other questions, this is a 2015 Camaro, that's what I installed it on. Go on any car they say, that's according to the manufacturer. If you have any questions about what I did or anything, leave them below. I will get back to you as soon as possible. But that will be it for today's video. I hope you have an awesome rest of your day. Peace.